peaceful coexistence, shared prosperity, regional collaboration, and multifaceted engagement with all countries in the region as well as those with interests in the region. With India assuming the chairship of Iora during the period 2011 to 2013, a major revitalization of Iora commenced with the identification of 6 priority areas centered around the maritime safety and security, disaster risk reduction, science and technology, trade and investment, tourism and fisheries management. These 6 priority sectors, along with other 2 cross-cutting areas identified later in the period led by Australia of blue economy and women's economic empowerment, paved the way for significant progress in Iora. India has played a major role in Iora since its inception by strengthening its structural and institutional mechanism through capacity building and fostering discussions within the association. India is the highest contributor to the Iora Special Fund and has promoted Iora's engagements with other regional organizations such as the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure or the CDRI and International Solar Alliance or ISA. Given the increasing importance of the Indo-Pacific region and its seamless connection between the Indian and the Pacific Oceans, it was essential for Iora to develop an outlook on the Indo-Pacific. In line with India's broader Indo-Pacific vision, India led the procedure of formulating the Iora's outlook on the Indo-Pacific, which was adopted by the 22nd Iora Council of Ministers meeting held in Dhaka in 2022. India is the current vice chair of the Iora and is part of the Troika along with Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, the current chair. India is leading the working groups on maritime safety and security along with Australia and the one on blue economy with Indonesia. Owing to ongoing global uncertainty and turmoil, we are encountering various new challenges on a regular basis. Conflicts in different regions and the rapid emergence of new advancements in the form of artificial intelligence that the world is seeing disruptions. These developments pose unprecedented risk to regional stability, but it is not only risk, it also comes with opportunities. We have also seen challenges in the forms of merchant vessels being targeted in the Red Sea region. We have to overcome these challenges in a collective manner and in a coordinated manner which is provided by the regional platform that is the Iora. While expanding the existing pillars, Iora needs to extend its scope to other functional domains and focus on pressing challenges such as climate change, AI, marine pollution, cyber warfare, etc. As the Vice Chair of Iora, India will assume the chairship later this year. For the next 2 years, the upcoming Iora chairship provides us with an opportunity to introduce new initiatives and activities that will give an impetus to the organization towards the collective development of the region. An immediate example is the special diplomatic course that we will be holding very soon in our Foreign Service Institute. Regular interactions and collaborations with other member states is essential to achieve our desired objectives. As the upcoming chair of Iora, India is committed to strengthen cooperation among Iora member states, dialogue partners, and to work closely with each other for prosperity and development of the Indian Ocean region. Before I conclude, once again, I extend my sincere appreciation to Professor Somnath and Professor Atri for organizing this very timely and relevant conference. I am confident that the productive discussions that will be held at the conference today will contribute greatly to the subject matter. Thank you much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your thoughtful and inspiring words. Now, I would like to request Professor V. N. Atri to deliver a formal vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Thank you very much. We are thankful to Madam Paramita, Joint Secretary Indo-Pacific Division, to be the chief guest on this occasion. We are also thankful to the ICWA for sponsoring this event, and we have a MOU with the ICWA looking forward to further collaborations. I am extremely thankful to the ambassadors, Ambassador Rajiv Bhatia, Ambassador Sanjay Panda, His Excellency Professor Anil Suklal, and Vice Admiral A.K. Chawla, Professor S.K. Mohinty, and Ambassador Anup Mudgil, who is on the way to join, and Director General of National Maritime Foundation, he is also be joining, and Dr. Imadul from Tokyo, the Ocean Policy Research Initiative. He will also be talking in the session later on. And I will share with the audience that we are in the process of having some joint project with OPRI very soon. And the Honorable Vice Chancellor encouragement to me from time to time. And I'm extremely thankful to all the professors. I'm thankful to Professor Ashok Chauhan, Professor Sanjeev Bansal, and I'm also thankful to Professor Chaturvedi, the Vice President of the South Asian University, who basically has joined, and despite some very personal reasons, he was able to join the session. And here I will share with you that we are able to get some of the peers in Indian Ocean Rim Association, those who have been directly dealing with the Iora. Here I must mention the work which I have done under the guidance of Ambassador Sanjay Panda. He was the Joint Secretary there, and I am very happy that he is behind the success of International Center for Indo-Pacific Studies, Ambassador Suklal and Ambassador Rajiv Bhatia, Ambassador Anup Mudgil. All of these ambassadors, Professor Mohinty and Professor Sanjay Chaturvedi, they basically keep discussing with me the issues related with Iora, and in one line, I may say that whatever we have been doing, that is with the support of the Honorable Vice Chancellor and the support of all these dignitaries. These are very big names, I tell you. And the center is basically opening the avenues for future generation. That is why I am here, and I am very sure that in the coming months, when India will be taking the chair of Iora, we will be organizing some very big events. As the Honorable Vice Chancellor mentioned, that the 4th edition of the Indo-Pacific Conference will be sometime in November 2025, and it will be on blue economy, and all the 23 member states and beyond that, the countries will be participating. And I may share the feedback that the 3rd Indo-Pacific Conference, the session which we organized on blue economy, is being discussed among all the dialogue partners, and some of the countries, they are contacting me to have the MOUs with Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. So this is basically the nutshell. And since I may take this opportunity, I'm the eldest among you. I'm approaching, you see, 74 years. So what is required for the upliftment of the university, upliftment for the nation, for the region, that is the commitment, the strong commitment. If you commit anything, if you take any dream, I tell you, all dreams are possible. And not going into the details, you will be listening from all these dignitaries after the tea break. Now, again, I am thankful to all of you with my heart. And now, for the later activities, I will invite the Priyanka to brief you what is the next. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I invite you all for tea outside. Please come. May I request Professor V.N. Atri to felicitate Professor Anup Mudgal, IFS, Ministry of External Affairs, New Delhi. Please, sir. Now we have to move our technical session 1 and 2, which is coordinated by Professor V.N. Atri. Please welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. There have been some changes, and keeping in view the time schedules of the honorable speakers, there might be changes. The time basically, initially, for every speaker, I allocated 15 to 20 minutes. But there are 2-3 people I must finish. Basically, the session will be continuing up to maybe lunch break. Earlier it was 12:45, but we can continue up to 1:30. Then there is a lunch break, and the next session will be starting around 2:15. So in that order, basically, let us start with Professor S.K. Mohanty, and not going into the details. Professor Mohanty basically has been associated with Iora since long and have done a commendable work. He was also the chair of Indian Ocean Rim Academic Group when India was the chair in 2011 to 13. So now I invite Professor Mohanty on the dais. Professor Mohanty, please.
Thank you, Professor Atri, Vice Chancellor Sunnath, Ambassador Bhatia, Ambassador Panda, Ambassador Mudgal, Professor Chaturvedi, Admiral Chawla. So, and here the galaxy of intellectuals. Of course, I started working in this area of Iora before its inception in 1995, though it was formally launched in 1997. And I have seen the rise and the fluctuations in the growth of the organization. So I think when Ambassador Mudgal was the ambassador in Mauritius, he steered it to a very large extent. When Ambassador Panda was heading Iora, he brought in all those 6 verticals and 2 cross-cutting areas. So I was asked to speak on one vertical, that is blue economy, which is also a very pet subject. I must admit that when the issue was inducted in Iora, it inspired us to a very large extent to undertake the same program in other countries, including that of India. And we worked in RIS very intensively on this work for 7-8 years to get a framework for the blue economy, its measurement. So, blue economy is one which really came up to the limelight to a very large extent after the Rio Summit in 2012. And then the whole process started, as all academicians here, you may be knowing that in most of the production functions you see that output is a function of labor and capital. And nowhere there was any mention about the resources, because it was very strongly felt that a resource is abundant in this world, and the human needs are so small that there is no need for any restriction on the use of resources. But after 2012, even the whole process started in 2002, the first global summit, that the resource question is very much there, and if this is the way how we really continue to spend, to continue our consumption, the time will come that nothing will be left to our future generation to spend. And therefore, it is important for us to restrain ourselves on this. So that's the whole idea of the resources, the blue economy. The issue came up in a vigorous way in the global platform. And what is becoming very important is about which will steer the whole process is technology. Blue economy, as we know, it is ocean-related areas, it is tourism, it is fisheries, but it is not like that. Those who are dealing with national income, in all broad segments, or major segments, or minor segments, in all segments you find the imprints of blue economy. So the presence of blue economy is everywhere. It is our endeavor to ensure that how to really tap them and to put it. So therefore, blue economy is very much in all sectors. So blue economy, since it is related to ocean and waterways, therefore it is linked to most of the countries in the world, and therefore collaborative effort is very much essential for the successful of a blue economy, which is really steer any of these littoral economies to a greater height. Now, when you think of blue economy and how do you think? Blue economy is a subset of the total economy of the country, or they would call it the GDP. So it is, they call it as a satellite account. So in this satellite account, all activities which are all inputs coming from the ocean or waterways, or any output going into the ocean, is part of the blue economy that you can see. So, how it is different from that of the general GDP estimation is that in GDP estimation we take all the positive values, value added into this system, but in blue economy it is not only takes into account all positive elements, but it also takes into account the negative elements in blue economy. So the net of both positive and negative contribution in terms of activities would contribute to the blue economy. So these are the areas how you think that what should be nature of blue economy for a country, because there is no consensus globally about the definition of blue economy. Therefore, different countries focused on different ways. And that you can see, I have tried to put definitions of different countries, their blue economy definitions. So, what is emerging from this is that we need to develop a system to understand that how important is blue economy for a country, and which are the most important segments in a country, so that it can be focused, because it is also equally capital intensive in nature. But very interesting, one can see that whether it is in terms of per capita income or in terms of this, the length of the ocean space, or you take any consideration, but there is no stylish fact to say that we can really imitate another country to ensure that it is our blue economy. You can't do it. So it is very important for everyone to estimate blue economy, because it is important that which sector we have to really focus, and that would contribute to the whole system. Now, India also defined its blue economy. Its report came in 2018, and the definition, we have got majorly three broad segments in that. It is optimizing the potential in the area of the ocean health. I think if ocean health is intact, then I think we can really have a sustained growth. But if it is not, then naturally it has negative bearing on us. The second issue about the socio-economic development, how it is really helping people. The third area is about the jurisdiction. Similarly, other areas are also there. The blue economy is not only the land area, but also the area surrounding us, the EEZ, economic extent, and also EEZZZ. So those areas are also very much there are the part of the blue economy. Now, in blue economy in India, our focus has been that how we can really, after maintaining sustainability of the economy, can maintain growth, because it is the most dynamic sector where the growth is much faster than the overall growth of the economy. For example, we are growing at the rate of 7%, but in blue economy it is much higher than that of the overall growth rate of the country. It has the capability to create employment both in the area of white collar and blue collar areas. I think there are several MSMEs you can see in the developed countries, particularly Japan and the US, and some countries in EU, where MSMEs have created huge number of white collar employment and contributed to the system. Therefore, it is very important that we should really focus on the specific sector, and more research should be done in this area. I think, as I said, that blue economy is present in all the sectors, whether it is agriculture or mining or manufacturing or services. But in all sectors, we can see that most of the areas are known for ages. What is new about it? So in each sector, here you can see there are some areas known as the traditional sectors which knew it earlier. And there are sectors where we are into them which are more technology intensive in nature. So that's how, if we really go into the areas where is blue economy and its presence, these are the sectors. You can see different colors. I have tried to mention that in agriculture, in the area of mining, in water and energy, in manufacturing, in services. I think in all areas you can see the presence of blue economy. Now, blue economy is for whom? Is it for the economists? No. Blue economy is like another elephant where nobody can really say that it is into one specific domain. It is into science, very specific areas they can deal with, like critical minerals, biodiversity, like that. Similarly, it is for environmentalists, those who are doing in this area, for economists, for strategists, legal issues are very much there. So, I think all faculty members or departments can really, truly engage into the blue economy system. Now, one can very well say that what is blue economy? There is nothing new about it. We know that which are important sector. For example, we know in US economy, shipping sector, shipping and ship repair sector is quite substantial as compared to many sectors in different countries in the world. But nobody knows that eating, drinking sector could be 5 times bigger than the shipping and ship repair sector in US. So it is very important that we should really know that what is our economy and which are the leading sectors in the blue economy. Now, one can see that since 1970, the whole issue started in US. There is one Indian company, Nathan Associate, which brought out a report in 1972, and US very silently worked on it and tried to mobilize the resources and to get advantage of this. But at later stage, OECD countries also thought that why US we should also get into the whole system, and they also tried to do it. But after the Rio summits from 2002 to 2012, the whole idea came up and started developing countries started picking up to a large extent, and then you can see that nearly 70 countries have already estimated blue economy, but it is so complex that they have tried to do it at least once or twice in the span of 50 years. Only 3 countries could do it continuously and can understand their economy. One is US, the other is OECD, and third is China. And fourth is India, that we could really do it, and now we can bring out blue economy report everywhere because you have the capabilities to estimate them. But the whole issue is that the composition, the classification of the blue economy, which is into the broad sectors, but we can say there are in Professor Atri's book, there is a chapter where 16 broad sectors are identified under the blue economy. And sectors are further divided into industries. As you know, ISIC, International Standard Industrial Classification, is one where industries are classified at 4-digit level, and that industrial classification is very much used in terms of national income accounting. Those students who have already done your matriculation and might have read national income accounting, in the output method, the industrial classification is very much used, and that is based on ISIC. And those are further used this is not coming. So sectors are further classified into industries, I said, and from there, you all are acquainted that there is one classification known as NIC 2008 industrial classification by Ministry of Statistics. So it gives further classification of industries into activities. So you get 5-digit activities and how you get national income accounting taking place in the different sectors. So from them, it is possible that one can estimate blue economy. I think we tried to do it in India when the report was 7-volume report of blue economy was published, and we found that blue economy in India is contributing 4% of India's GDP, and it is highly dynamic. The growth is very substantial. It's higher than the overall GDP of the country, and it is resilient. I am unable to show it, but here you can see Then when the depression started coming, particularly after 2008, the GDP came down drastically in 2014. But blue economy, which came down drastically in 2014, and immediately resumed and became much faster than that of the overall growth rate of India in 2015 and subsequent years. So that's how we can see that blue economy's importance. Recently, we estimated in 2021, which clearly indicated that the total blue economy size in India is nearly $126 billion. It is quite substantial. And at present, the quality of the sectors is primarily in the area of non-living sector and the living sector, particularly fisheries, are some of the areas which are taking the lead as compared to other countries like China and OECD countries, where industrial sectors are extremely prominent. Another new concept which we developed is about blue trade. I think all are acquainted with maritime trade, but blue trade is something different from maritime trade. Maritime trade is that where any output or any product borne by the ship or the waterways is a part of maritime trade. But blue trade is one where here you can see the definition: any output coming from the ocean or used in a product or any product meant for the ocean are part of the blue economy. So inputs coming from ocean like fisheries, like other materials which we are using for processed food, those are part of the blue economy, or those output going meant specially for the ocean or ocean related activities like ships, like boat or net, they are also part of blue trade. So what we have done, we have estimated, we have identified the product. Nearly 590 products are identified out of 5,200 products, HS products, and we have estimated for 169 countries for the year 2002 to 22. And very clearly you can see that the global growth declined drastically with the onset of recession in 2008, and that continued for quite some time. And also global trade was extremely affected because of the continuation of recession, but blue trade grew continuously until you can see from the graph that it grew persistently up to 2014, and that really helped in terms of improving the share of blue trade in the overall trade of any economy. But why it is so important? It is so important because blue trade, as you know, that blue economy grows faster than ordinary economy. But if India is growing at 6%, blue economy grows much higher than that. And blue trade grows faster than GDP. And blue trade is even faster, faster than the overall trade of the economy. So the real growth potential is with the blue trade, and that is the core issue that one can see. I just try to see in India what has happened. As we know that in trade, India, in goods, India is perennially a trade deficit country. You have a huge trade deficit with the rest of the world. But in this particular table, you can see that we have got blue trade both in goods and services. And both goods and services over the last 10 years, we have got a persistently trade surplus. And that has really contributed to India's GDP growth. While GDP sharing 4% of blue economy contributing 2% of our total GDP, blue trade contributing 10% of our total trade, and that is the difference. And it is higher contribution and also growing much faster. And as we have estimated for 2021, blue trade was quite substantial, and the trade surplus was nearly $13.2 billion for the country. So one can see that where is blue economy and where is its presence. Here, when you talk about fishery is one area where one can see one's potential, and there is a lot of discussion about value chains. So you have got the raw format when you get any product, that is the upstream. When it is processed, manufactured, it is the midstream. When it is quite substantially manufactured with the introduction of the chemicals, machines, particularly three elements, salt, sugar, and chemicals, then you have got the downstream segment. And the value addition is much higher in the downstream and the midstream sector. Look at, we have experimented 130 products under the fishery sector, and trying to examine it across the country. So it is showing that in the upstream segment, particularly the export of the fishery products, raw fishery products, it is quite substantial among the developing countries. In the midstream, also you see that emerging and developed countries are there. But in the downstream segment, you see mostly dominated by developed countries. So technology is a major issue, and that requires further discussion among developing countries or different regional forums. So coming to the blue economy, I think the technology is a major area where one can really see in fisheries, in minerals, in deep sea water, in all segments you can see that the need for the technology intervention and technology creation is the major challenge for most of the developing countries, including India. Now, energy one sector where it has got both renewable and non-renewable energy from the ocean sector. We have identified nearly 9 such areas where a lot of work is done. I am not presenting that. But here, the non-renewable, there are 9 sectors, and among the ocean non-renewable sector, there are also 2 areas. And if you can really harp on one sector, that would really solve our problems for several decades. Here there is one plant located in Lakshadweep using OTC technology, where water is taken from deep areas of the ocean with low temperature, and then they are converted and generating energy, safe drinking water, and many other things. So, coming to the offshore energy policy in India, I think we are in very nascent stage, still following many countries in the West and also many countries in Asia also. So, in one area, particularly in the area of oil and gas, I think we have made some headways, and also we have given contracts to some areas. And India's policy is somewhat better in the area of OTEC, and particularly the policy about renewable purchase obligations, where states are mandated to purchase some element of renewable energy that has really helped in terms of developing OTEC energy. When we talk about manufacturing sector, in the marine sector, I think the areas are quite substantive. I think China has done pretty well in terms of harnessing most of the sectors, both in the industrial sector or the manufacturing sector and in the service sector. I think we have already planned out in two of our major reports. One is on blue economy, another is on maritime economy. I think most of the members are here of both the reports. They are clearly indicating that India has got a huge potential in this area. So, what are those areas which we would like to see? One is about the product creation. I think between developed countries and developing countries, there is not much gap in terms of product development. All are in a very nascent stage. I think time has come that we should focus more on R&D and focus on product creation. Blue value chain is another area which is also emerging very important, particularly in the food sector. It is very much there, but in the area of pressure and rare earth elements, I think we have got in the downstream segment, but we are grossly lacking in the upstream and the midstream segment. Therefore, we are unable to do much in the area of lithium and other areas. Marine special planning is one which is really create a kind of sense to the people about the relevance of the economy. The conflict between human being and ocean is almost there, and MSP is one which is trying to reduce the conflict between them and try to measure them. So try to see and classify different conflict areas into different categories like incompatible, partially compatible, regulatory compatible, partially incompatible, like that, and compatible. So this is the areas how different activities can be classified and different policies can be generated, made for that. Now, globally, there are various initiatives that really steer the whole process of a blue economy. As we know that in India, we have identified nearly 30 ministries are directly or indirectly linked with the blue economy sector. To end, most of the littoral states are also part of it, coastal states are also part of it. There are various agencies dealing with the ocean sector also, stakeholders of this process. So controlling all of them is a very challenging task, and therefore in US it is mostly led by the president and also Canada by the Prime Minister. So, however, in India we have taken a considered view to see that Minister of Earth Sciences is now given the charge of steering the whole process of blue economy in India. SDG 14 is one which is completely devoted for ocean. But when it was MDG, it is MDG 7, only some segments were allocated to ocean sector. I think 3 segments were allocated to the ocean sector. But because of SDG 14, I think many areas are now to be covered, such as nutritional pollution, debris, coastal ecosystem, fisheries, acidification. But one thing is very clear, that even if we fulfill the complete mandate of SDG 14, that won't suffice our requirement under the blue economy. Therefore, we have to do much more than what is required under SDG 14. So there is UN Decade of Ocean Science, which is again meant for giving technological support to SDG 14. And there are 6 different areas they have been working, and still the progress is very slow. So, in coming to the challenges, key challenges is administrative challenge is one, that how a ministry can really, or census can regulate the entire set of ministries at the center, the states, coastal states, and that to the institutions is a major challenge. I think more thinking is very much required. Technology creation is another important aspect. I think 2 major ministries or the areas really thrive globally. That is, one is ISRO and another is Atomic Energy Commission. I think these are the 2 areas where they have created technology for the country. I think there are remote institutions within the country, and they should be properly given the space, particularly the financial support and financial autonomy, particularly to ensure that there is technology creation. So there are, this is my last slide, which is now very important, that the technology transfer is a major issue here. I think in terms of developed and developing countries, the technology gap is not that wide. So we have got equal capabilities doing it, and we are doing it. But there are areas where we can really access other technologies developed elsewhere is important, where you can access. But that requires a kind of pricing mechanism that is to be done, and more analysis research is required for that. Governance structure, I have already given some hints, but definitely governance structure is one which is very critical. We should both focus on blue trade and GDP to ensure that our growth rate is much faster than what we are doing at this point of time. Fishery sector is one which can really drive the economy to a very large extent. Pressure material is one which is rare earth, which is critical for modern science and technology or products. So that area is important. Data sharing is important, and also the shipping sector. And last, about the international cooperation. And here, Professor Atri worked extensively that how in Iora we can really engage with dialogue partners. Dialogue partners are really should have the supportive role to the main organization. I think most of the developed countries are part of Iora as a dialogue partners. I think we should develop certain projects so that we can work together with the different dialogue partners. So I think that's important. Thank you.